Tell me in a second. The beginning of Korach, we're up to Pasuk base. We actually haven't even finished the Rashi on Pasuk Aleph.
I know.
There's one.
No, don't go so far. Yeah.
Wow.
We're up to.
There's quite a lot of.
I think we're going to go from there. Ma'ara Korach. Mordechai. You have to have the top of the second column. You have it? Top words of the second column. Ma'ara Korach Lachlo Kimoshe. You got those words?
Yeah.
Good.
Ma'ara Korach
Lachlo Kimoshe.
Moshe.
What did Korach see to dispute with Moshe? Okay, Niskane al. Continue to read, yeah?
Niskane al Mishisa.
Nesi Usai Shel Elitzophan Ben Uziel. Right? He was jealous of the appointment of the appointment to leadership, about the leadership position of Elitzophan, the son of Uziel. Shaman Sheminohu Moshe Nasi al Bnei Kahos. Moshe appointed him as a leader over the sons of Kahos. Al Pi HaDibor, right? By the word of Hashem. That's the word literally means Al Pi HaDibor, by the mouth of the utterance, which means that's a euphemism for saying by the word of Hashem. Omar Korach said, Achei Arbo Arbo. Right? My father was one of 4 brothers. Arbohoi. Shnema Uvnei Kahos. Right? What were the 4 sons of Kahos? Amram v'Yitzor, Chevron v'Uziel. Amram HaBachor Notlu Shnei Banov Gedula. Amram, the firstborn, his 2 sons took positions of leadership, of power. Echad Melech, Echad Kohen Gadol. One was the king, and the other was Kohen Gadol. Meaning Moshe was king, and meaning he was like the absolute leader of the Jewish people. The Echad and Aaron was Kohen Gadol. Mi Roy Liteles Hashnia, who's next in line to get the position of leadership? Me? Isn't it me? Shani ben Yitzhak, and the son of Yitzhak. Shu Sheni la Amram, who's the second one to Amram. He's the next son. Vehu mina Nasi. Who did he appoint as Nasi of the Bnei Kahos? Es ben Achiv HaKaton, the son of his youngest brother, Mikulam, the one the younger Mikulam. Hareini Cholek Olav. I'm going to be dispute with him, and cancel his words. Meaning, I'm going to take that, ostensibly, I'm going to take that position. Okay, Ma'asa, what did he do? Omad v'kines reish nun roshi sanhedros. He rose and gathered 250 heads of Sanhedros. Now, Sanhedrin, there's the Supreme Sanhedrin was 71 members. But there's what's called the Sanhedrin Ketana, which is basically any Bezdin who has the power to judge capital offences.
73, 24.
23. A Bezdin of 23. Okay?
So what the 70 did? What?
71 was the Supreme Court.
So that would judge?
That would judge that anything which was undecided by the other Bezdin was referred to the High Court. They were the...
but they were also the assistants to Moshe, right? And that's they had kind of a dual function.
It was mentioned in Parshas Ba'aloischo, right?
Right, that God told Moshe appoint a new Sanhedrin because the old Sanhedrin he was going to get rid of because they participated in the...
misowning him, right.
Right.
And what was the majority decision? What was the majority decision?
According to one opinion, the Ocha B'Ktzeh Machne, they died in the when they complained. The Jewish people complained about not the quails, before the quails, right? So they had died. Anyway, upon him, yes.
What was the majority decision of the 71? They all said
36.
Majority was 36, 35.
Right.
I thought they had to have a bigger majority.
No.
This happened after the spies?
Yes. This happened after the spies, but it did happen.
Didn't we learn from the spies to behave ourselves?
Well, you have to realize what this was a different kind of sin. One was a lack of belief in Hashem. This is also actually stemmed from a lack of belief in Hashem. But this stemmed from the fact that this was a sin of Korach, should we say, a more personal rebellion against Moshe. It wasn't the case of the Meraglim was something which affected more the entire Jewish people together. It was ostensibly the Meraglim were their taina was that Moshe and Aaron and the Yeshua and Caleb, who insisted that they were going to go into Eretz Israel, as is, were putting the Jewish people in danger. It was ostensibly the Meraglim's taina was this is a case of national importance, and Moshe and Aaron, by insisting that the people should go into the land of Israel, right, without proper preparation, just sort of walk in, and when the HaKodesh was going to take care of us, is putting the people in danger. This was ad kedei kach, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, but it says...
So there was something of national, on a national level. Here, this was Korach, ostensibly, was really something only on a personal level. He says, I want the position of being the head of the cast, and not Elitzaph ben Uzziah.
Yes. When was that appointment made that he was passed over?
That was made.
It was only a year into the.
Yeah, it's interesting why all of a sudden. When exactly chronologically did Korach start up with Moshe?
It must be only a few months
after
leaving.
The Gemara says that his wife, Korach's wife, was really one who egged him on.
Oznan? Is that Oznan? Oznan? Was his wife called Oznan?
I don't know.
Or was that the other one?
I don't know. You mean the wife of On Ben Peles, you mean?
Yeah.
She's the one who combed her hair.
That's right.
In public.
That was the one who was the one who was in between. He wasn't actually.
Right. He was originally with them, and afterwards he backed out, thanks to his wife.
Was his wife come to here in public?
Yes. No. So what happened was this On Ben Peles. He was
one that.
Rashi doesn't mention anything about him over here.
He chopped one.
No. He originally was together with Korach, and he then afterwards his wife tried to convince him out of it. So she
called her in public.
No. What happened is she duped him.
Yeah.
Right.
What
you think? And then when the guys with the Korach and his other cohorts came to fetch On Ben Peles to go to Moshe, so she stood at the entrance of their tent combing her hair.
Oh yeah, right. And then they couldn't look at him.
This is the guy we're dealing with. Let's get out of here.
Oh yeah, okay.
And she achieved exactly what she wanted to achieve. To save her husband from...
when you use
these were very religious guys, I'm serious.
Right.
Korach was not a small guy.
When you say that Korach was egged on by his wife, that was how she did it. She said,
well, it's also with hair. It's all to do with hair.
And it's as smoother than egg there, right?
Right. That's why she called him Korach. She called him a Korach. You're a baldy.
Right.
That's his name. Korach is it connected with his name?
Korach.
In fact, and ice. It's also ice. Very similar to cold. He was cold.
He was a cold guy. Anyway, the point is,
why did he do what
when chronologically did this happen? This guy, I'm not sure. Because I tell you why. It definitely happened. Rashi says somewhere
within a year of leaving Egypt.
Right, not within a year of leaving Egypt, but it happened in the first year, meaning shortly after the sin of the Meraglim. It's not happened shortly after the sin. The only thing is, the catalyst for, according to the Medrash, the catalyst for bringing it about was that obviously this complaining about the appointment of Elitzaph and Ben Uzziah, which happened, Derech Agav, as soon as the Bnei Leviim were counted, all the way back. It's mentioned in Pashas Bamidbar. Okay, it's mentioned then. And then subsequently all the Levim were inaugurated, and that's when they were all shaven. Okay, and that's when his wife came, and he came back home. Right, she really didn't recognize him because
He was scalped.
he was scalped. Right, he was totally all off.
Mohican.
That could be that as well.
Mohican hairstyle.
Yeah.
So-
Had no
so-
one anything in the middle though.
No, fair.
Okay.
So he was humiliated and humiliated again.
Right.
Humiliated by his wife.
Well, sort of.
Who said-
Moshe is humiliating you. He blamed everything on Moshe. Upon him, but that had already happened around about Rosh Chodesh Nisan.
Yeah, to the first year. Really.
Yeah, meaning at the beginning of it, before the sin of the Magdalene. So I'm not sure when this happened exactly.
Yeah.
That humiliation, the appointment of Elitzoph ben Uziah,
Was a
and
big
the
humiliation.
humiliation of the inauguration of the Levim, that they all had their
That
heads
was
shaven,
humiliating something.
right, was
I feel
all
sorry for
took
the guy.
place during Nisan. That's the beginning of Nisan, right at the beginning.
So yeah, but the two things would mean far from calculation. Korach acted more impulsively
So that would
because it was a
So that would
busha
suggest-
on top of a busha that even his wife he couldn't even his wife and
Right.
point
So that-
something out that maybe he could have ignored.
No, but
I
that
never hear
means
She wants to be Mr. President. Mrs. President.
Well, she was
Why?
upwardly mobile. No, but I guess he was wanting to be at least head of the family. He wasn't trying to overthrow Moshe. He was using that kind of as a way of opening the way for him to be head. Or did his ambitions flower even more when he had those two things about the fringes and stuff like that? Did he think that Moshe? See, the thing is that you have these two things together. That it sounds like almost that his ambitions took a jump. That far that he said, I don't want to just be head of that family. I think I can be the head of everybody.
right. Well, obviously that's the whole idea. That's what's happening here.
Right.
Okay. Yes. You want to say something?
Did Korach ever complain to Hashem?
That's a very good point.
That's a good point.
I mean, did he? One was
Fair play. That he wasn't.
meaning.
Because I almost agree. I agree with Steve to a point. I think Korach has the right to question. He has the right to stand up for himself. But when Moshe said, can we talk about this tomorrow? At that point, he could have not enticed. He could have not caused other people to have negative action. Okay, but doesn't he have the right to? Where's his complaint to Hashem? Maybe that would have legitimized some of it. I don't know.
You're right. It's a very good point. Why didn't he turn to Hashem? And he said, Hashem, I feel rightfully the thing. Why did you point to Litzoph? I mean,
That's a good point.
you're hitting a very good point over here, because his Korach's taina was that Moshe was not speaking as a spokesman of Hashem. That's what his Korach's taina was.
Right.
But if he's got any objections, why this particular instance, the build-up, before he loses his cause all these 250 to revolt or to sort these things out, he's had time. He knows that Hashem has appointed him as a spokesman. He's a very important man, and he's been given the blessing of being the people who bring him out of Egypt and to do this. And he's the man in between, as it were. Well, I didn't mean it in a nasty way. But he's the one who calls the shots, and suddenly in this parasha, he's suddenly come to a head. He hasn't had a time to speak to it. It's not fair, But he's not made the directive. It's Hashem has told Moshe, as ruler of the Jewish people, as the king, to take charge and to tell, appoint positions to do this. It's not done from him so much as a directive, divine commandment from God. So he's got any complaint, he's got a time to do it. Suddenly it's brought to a head. I just can't see why you say that. You just said, "Oh yeah, I didn't think of that." But it's not cake. He's had how many months before? I didn't mean it rudely.
I know.
How
I'm
many
saying,
times? How much time? Suddenly it comes to us.
You're assuming, Yaakov, that the story of the Meraglim have to happen at Tisha B'Av time, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying the assumption is that since this follows
Even before that, and we also. Another important point that also is doing what you're saying is that in Shemot, because I read it today and I couldn't understand why all this showdown? Why was Korah bringing it out or it suddenly? Another reason in Shemot, if they referred to remember in Shemot, it tells you that they were worried about Moshe. He would never get to Israel. Okay, he would never get to Israel. Whatever. Is it within that week?
Who was
Moshe, the leader, would never enter Israel. So they're wondering who's going to lead Bnei Israel when they get there. So that was another. Just wait. That's another panic. But he does say in Shemot something about that Israel. Maybe I've got it wrong. That Moshe would not come to Israel in Shemot. But I can't remember what. Maybe it's number 5. But it also said that how they're going to do with the Canaanites. So Hashem says, "Don't worry about the Canaanites. I'll perform miracles for that." You know. So what's Korah? Doing all this for? He's been told by Moshe that Hashem has got this under cover, under his control, and Hashem's looking after you. So that's not been. You've not mentioned that, have you? Have you mentioned that?
Well,
I only learned that. I only learned that yet today. So I mean,
Moshe is.
He's got to hear what's going on. Don't just suddenly go on. Hashem gave a message that Moshe will not enter the land. But Moshe dies. That there'll be lots of kings that you'll have to people. Canaanites have to fight in Shemot. It says in Shemot 5 or 6. That don't worry, Hashem will look after the Bnei Israel.
And they said that Moshe wouldn't get to enter the land.
I think it said that, yeah. But don't worry, Israel. When you go into Israel, you
have to show me this. Because at this point, Moshe was still slated to go into that.
Just grab over the timeline again, just to get a feeling for it. They left in Egypt in Nisan.
Right.
They get to Mount Sinai 6 months later?
No, much
a
less.
year later.
7 weeks later.
7 weeks later. Okay. Oh, Shavuos.
Right.
Okay. They. Okay. Then it's Yom. Then the golden calf, because Moshe didn't get back in time.
Then 40 days later.
Then it was Tisha B'Av of that year.
No. There was a full year afterwards. Let me explain how the timeline goes.
Yeah.
So Moshe Rabbeinu was Torah was given on the 6th or 7th of Sivan. 40 days later, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't come down. The next day it comes down on the 17th of Tammuz.
Right, okay.
Right. Then Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to the mountain to pray for them for 40 days. Right? And then twice 40 days. Twice 40 days.
They had already been.
Well, the first 40 days, HaKodesh Baruch Hu was angry with him, he wouldn't listen to him. That was till the end of Av. And then again on the Chodesh Elul, Moshe Rabbeinu went up again.
Right.
That was the third 40 days when Moshe Rabbeinu prayed for Jewish people, and HaKodesh Baruch Hu said, yes, I'm going to forgive them. Salachti Kidvorach.
So it's Yom Kippur that he forgave him that year.
Yom Kippur of that year.
Right. That he came down with
that
the
was
second
6 months.
book
That was close to 6 months after
6
then.
months.
Right. Then, after those 6 months, then they spent the winter till Hanukkah building the Mishkan.
Right.
Okay, the Mishkan was only inaugurated with Chodesh Nisan. That's almost a year after they left.
Right.
Then, at this time when the Mishkan was inaugurated, that's when all the encampment, order of the encampment was introduced.
Right.
The Jewish people were counted, the Levium were counted, the appointments, who was to be in charge of the Mishkan, everything was there. That's all happened then.
Okay, and so that's when.
That's when the
Korach was passed over and got shaved
right.
in that
now,
Nisan, second year Nisan.
Nisan. Now, L'choira, that's when it happened, L'choira. Then, it didn't happen, after that they had all these things with the quails and the complaints about everything else, and that happened during the month of Iyar.
Right.
That thing. Then, at the end of Iyar, Sivan, at the end of Sivan, they sent the spies. The spies came back on Erev Tisha B'Av. That night they wept. So from the Tisha B'Av, the night of the 9th of Av, that's when it was decreed upon them that they're going to have to stay in the desert for 40 days. For 40 years, I'm sorry. Okay?
Right, so there was 2 Avs that were significant
If
problems.
you follow the Torah as is written, then it sounds like Korach's story happened immediately after that, which means sometime Av, Elul, okay, that's when the story of Korach happened.
Right, which would have been 4-5 months after all these appointments were.
Right.
were
So that sounds
made.
strange, because why all of a sudden, what prompted all of a sudden now to wake up? What seems more logical, that this actually happened during Nisan, but just the Torah, as we mentioned it a number of places, the Torah is not written in chronological order. Okay?
But it does make sense in a way that, Korah was passed over. He knew he couldn't, because there was nobody he could go back to. You can't rescind an order once it's been given. So he sat there rather frustrated. And because he didn't think that God did it, he thought that it was just nepotism, that the favorites, he really couldn't do anything about it until the time of the spies, until the people seemed to be turning against Moshe, and then he spoke. That's what I think the Rambam was saying. So it was more an opportunity thing. So he was really going for the top. He wasn't trying to up it, sell upon him. He said, "The heck with that! I can't go. I'm going to go and not go Ramosha."
Okay, maybe it's possible. I don't know. But if it was happened after the sin of the spies, that would make some logic to that. Okay, could be.
Okay, that's what the
Anyway.
Ramban seems to be.
Yeah, the Ramban says that. Okay, I have to show.
Well, yeah. He says that that's in the art school that Ibn Ezra says that it happened before, and the Ramban said that it happened after the spies.
Okay.
Well, whether or not he said they was waiting to most of it for a weekend, I think that's what they.
Anyway,
think
so he
was.
says, Ma also, Mordechai. Remember here, Ma also, what did he do?
Here.
Oh yeah, Omad v'kinis reish nun Roshi Sanhedrois. He went and gathered 250 heads of Sanhedrin. Now, that means every head of Sanhedrin was the head of 23, because there were 23 Dayanim in every Sanhedrin. Right? So he was the head. Each one of the people who joined in Makara was a head of such a Beis Din. Okay? Now, there were 250 of them. That means there were at least 250 Batei Din, the Sanhedrois who were involved over here. Okay? And the leader of each one of them joined in. Now, why am I making a point of this? Because
So there were
Rashi
23 separate Sanhedrins.
there were 250 separate Sanhedrins.
Right.
And each one was made up of 23 Dayanim. Now, I'll tell you why I'm mentioning it. Since Rashi says, Rubon Mishevet Ruven Shchena. Most of them from the tribe of Reuven, his neighbors. Behem Elitzur ben Shideo v'Chavero. They are Elitzur ben Shideo, who was the leader, the Nafshi of the tribe of Reuven, v'Chavero and his friends. Okay, v'Chayetziba and similar kind of people. Shneema, how do I know they were heads of Sanhedrin? Shneema Nisiye Eida Kriyei Moed. Ulahalon Huema Eile Kriyei Eida. Okay? So we see things. By the way, what I mentioned, why does Rashi say, how does Rashi get from there were most of them from the tribe of Reuven? Maybe they're all from the tribe of Reuven. So I made a very simple calculation. It says every Sanhedrin, there were 250 heads of Sanhedrin. Now that means each one was a head of Sanhedrin, there must have been they were one of 23.
5,750.
So each, there were 23 Dayanim. Okay? That means now each Dayan, as we learned before, had to be head of at least 10 people. Right? So every Sanhedrin had to be, including all the Dayanim, had to be, shall we say, have at least 230 people under him. In other words, every head of Sanhedrin had to have at least 230 people under him. Okay?
Okay.
Right now, if you calculate 250 times 230,
Well, 230.
because there are 230 people. Every head of Sanhedrin was a head of 200, at least 230 people, right?
10 and 23, 200, each one had 23. That's 230 times 20, 250 Sanhedrin.
Right, 258. So it doesn't work out because the total amount comes to 57,500. How many people were in the tribe of Reuven altogether?
57.
No, 57,500. 250 times 230 comes to 57,500.
Okay.
That's what my calculator says.
Right, but so you're saying that they
1 second.
weren't all
Not smaller than
Yeah,
that.
so that can't be because the head tribe of Ruvain, how many were members of the tribe of Ruvain? You go back a bit. 46,500.
So
So it could not have been all from the tribe of Reuben.
right. Okay.
That's where Rashi gets it from. Rashi says most of them were tribe of Reuben, but not all of them.
250 times 230, say.
250 times 230.
Okay.
Did you do 11 plus? Yaakov.
Yeah, of course I did.
Yes, no, but not all the tribe of
Do you know
Reuben.
11 plus is? That used to be-
57,500, you said that.
Yeah.
No,
It's
no,
the,
but not all the people
it was the
in
finishing
Reuben.
between when you finished day school before you went up to high school.
Yeah.
It was like the
In between.
it was the
No,
finishing.
but you're saying they were all involved with the Sanhedrin. That means everybody in Reuben was a judge. I think I missed
no. To be a judge, you had to be at least the head of 10 people.
that. Okay.
So the 23 judges who constituted the Beis Din, each of them had to have at least 10 people. I mean,
10 people on it, that's 230, right.
right. So the head of the Sanhedrin had to have at least 230 people under him. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Because he
Right.
says Rosh Sanhedrin. It wasn't just
No, but we're saying they were all from the tribe of Reuben.
So
The Sanhedrin wouldn't have been spread all around evenly amongst all the tribes, and Reuben themselves, because of the first
one second,
one,
the word
is a
was-
separate category.
there were a lot more than 250 Sanhedrins in the Jewish people. If you work it out, there would have been a lot more than that. But
And one's been spread out throughout, you mean,
there weren't altogether 250 Sanhedrins in the entire Jewish people. There were much more than that. Just
no, but I'm just saying that they would have been
of
concentrated all in Reuben, because that's the whole tribe. And so you're saying that
No,
Reuben,
no.
as a tribe, being the firstborn.
No, you're missing
so
something.
you-
1 second.
I am missing something.
Yeah, he took the heads of the Sanhedrin. Now, in order to be a Sanhedrin, right, you had to have 23 Dayanim in each Sanhedrin.
No,
Each one of those Dayanim, listen to me, each one of those Dayanim had to be a head of 10 people in order to qualify to be a Dayan, right?
Right.
Okay? Now, that means if you're Dayanim, you've got 23 Dayanim, each one of them a head of 10 people. That means this covers a group of 230 people of that tribe.
Right, and we're saying 57,500 was the total amount of people that would have been involved in this from the
Not
Sanhedrin.
involved, no. You're missing the point over here.
Oh.
I'm saying each head of Sanhedrin, right, had to have at least 230 people under him.
Right, okay.
There were 250 people involved here. He says he took 250 heads of Sanhedrin.
Right.
Now, what I'm calculating is that every head of Sanhedrin had 230 people under him.
Yeah.
That means those 250 could not have all been from the tribe of Reuben. That's all I'm pointing out.
Why did they mention Reuben anyway?
Because Reuben
No,
mentioned
of
before,
all.
Rashi mentioned it before,
Yeah.
that the reason why Korah was the sons of Kahos,
Okay.
they were camped juxtaposition
Oh, I see, yeah, that's
to
right.
the tribe of Reuben. That's
Right.
why we
Right.
mentioned that yesterday.
No, what I was just saying that Reuben as a tribe was against Moshe because they were all firstborn. Okay.
Possibly, Rashi doesn't say that.
Some of the people in Reuben happen to be on the Sanhedrin. How many we don't know, and the rest of them, we don't know
From other tribes, right.
that either was spread around.
Right.
But it sounded like a really significant amount. So therefore, all these so-called advisors to Moshe seem to take the side, not all, but a significant amount, but maybe not so significant, I don't know,
Well-
we're taking the side of Korah.
Okay, so now let me, I'm going to point out to you, this is better than what you were quoting yesterday from the Ramban, is that this is not the first time that the leaders, the Dayanim of the people, the leaders of the people, have taken a stand against Moshe.
Yeah.
We had that last
Next
week with the Meraglim.
In a few
Right.
weeks' time.
No,
Next
no, I
week, the week
understand
after.
About what?
Stabbing the
Oh yes, right, with the, in the end of
Spear.
Bolog, right, with Bilog,
barbecue.
barbecue, whatever.
Cosby.
Yeah,
That's
That's next couple of weeks' time.
that's the company's Bolog, that's Bolog.
okay.
Well, it's fine.
Anyway, I beg pardon. Now, 1 second. I'm just pointing that out. Anyway, now, so what did he do? Korach took them and the Bishon Taliso Shekulant Cheles. he dressed them in talis, right, in cloaks, right, which were all made entirely of tcheles.
All the Sanhedrin.
All these 250 heads of Sanhedrin. You know, it's, Korach took his cohorts, his people, members of his clan,
and they paraded them up to Moshe.
Right. Go on now. What was the idea of? We're going to see in a second. What was the idea of dressing them in cloaks entirely made of tcheles? By the way, they were very expensive because tcheles was not a easy, was not a cheap commodity.
So let's nails
right.
into that and where they
So
got
Kulan tcheles. Bo v'amdu lifnei Moshe. They all came and stood before Moshe. Amru lo, and they said to him, Talis shekula tcheles. A talis which is entirely made of tcheles, chayeves betzitzis or ptura? Is it obliged to put on tzitzis, or is it exempt? Amar lahem. So Moshe answered them, it's pashat chayeves. You've got to put on tzitzis. Hischilu lischayk alav. They started laughing at him. Efshe talis shel min echad, chut echad shel tcheles pa'itra. Right? If you have a white talis, and the whole idea of the tcheles is, as we mentioned in the end of last week's parsha, Urisem Oisoi Uzchartem Eskom Mitzvahs Hashem. You should look at the tzitzis and remember all the mitzvahs of Hashem. How so? So the Gemara says, you look at tcheles. What color? What is the color of tcheles? Aquamarine.
Right.
Right? It's a kind of turquoise. It's a like of a
sea, sky,
tropical blue. Yes, tropical.
And
Okay.
also the throne of Hashem.
1 second.
Oh.
So the Gemara says, what's the idea? If you look at the tcheles, you see the blue, the hue of blue. So it's going to remind you of the
Heavenly throne.
No, it's actually going to remind you of the sea. Tcheles
Yeah.
doima b'yam. B'yam doima l'rakia. Rakia doima l'kisei hakavod. So a person's going to see the color of blue, and he's going to see be reminded of the sea. By the way, why should we be reminded of the sea? If you ever noticed this color turquoise, you have almost, I don't think, naturally, there is no vegetation which has that color. Or rather, when you see that color, it looks artificial. You see the color red or purple or yellow or any other hue or green or whatever, you see fruit. Not every fruit has some different color, but not turquoise, not aquamarine. Aquamarine is something which reminds you of the sea.
Sea blue.
Sea blue. Okay, it's a sea blue. So that's why it says tcheles doima l'yam. Now, why is the sea blue? Because it's a reflection of the sky. It's really water, has no color. Tcheles doima l'yam, yam doima l'rakia. Oh, rakia, you look at things like in heaven. Kia doima l'kisei hakavod. So that's your person will make that mental connection. That in itself is a shmooze in itself. Why should a person make that such a connection? But anyway, so the whole point of tzitzis is that we should look at them and make the connection and make you think of Hashem. So if you have an entire garment made of that material, that kind of material, okay, so you shouldn't need tzitzis.
Oh, right.
What does that have to do with putting it on?
What? So you don't realize this was the
You want to show?
deep idea behind Torah. Meaning you are making you're singling out there's got to be a leader among the Jewish people who's got to has a closer connection to Hashem than the rest of everybody. There's this single thread, right, which has this connection to Hashem. And he has to be the leader? No, that's what we're going to see in a few psukim he's going to say. Ki kulam kadoshim. The entire congregation, everybody's holy. We're all equal. You can't make yourself more closer to Hashem and more elevate yourself to be on a higher level than anybody else. We're all holy. So this was the idea behind this.
But you tell again, Hashem's telling them to do all these things, to wear techelet and wear.
So this is
so they're going against Hashem. They're not going against Moshe. Moshe's an in between.
You're right, 100% right.
So why doesn't he say it's not me? I'm carrying Hashem's command.
But that's the whole point. They disputed. They say Hashem,
So that shows that.
no, Hashem never. They're disputing that the fact that Moshe is Hashem's spokesman, Hashem's prophet. That's the main thrust over here. They say we don't believe that Hashem actually told you. This is all nepotism. This is all from your own bat. It says Korach. Kosh Baruch was saying we're all equal. We're all holy. So therefore, there's no reason why any one of us can't be on the highest level, just like you are. That's basically the idea. To be continued tomorrow.
So he sees all